Tool School. The topic for today are rough cleaning discs or strip-it material. See you in a minute. Good morning and welcome back to TYROLIT Tool School. As I said, our rough cleaning material or strip-it material. Today, as you can see, I'm not alone. I brought Marla with me. Marla, what do you do for us?
Thank you, Johan, for the introduction. My name is Marla Under. I am the product manager for our non-woven assortment, and I'm here today with Johan to introduce you to our strip-it material and show you some applications.
Very good. So, our strip-it material is made in our factory in Italy. That's where they produce the whole thing. Now, Marla, please tell me what do we need to make strip-it material? What do we need for that?
So our strip-it material is a polymer product. So we have a polymer granulate. So this is melted down and then turned into a carpet-like structure, which we see here. So this structure is our polymer structure. You can see it's pretty open, and you can tell that with that you are probably not able to grind anything down. So you just need a grain for that. And we have two different types of grains. We have, for one, our silicon carbide.
Silicon carbide.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Johan. And then we have a rougher one, which is the aluminum oxide, which is our ceramic grain. And with these grains, we have three different kind of versions. We have the normal version, we have the red version, which is extra rough, and then we have a soft version.
Okay, interesting. So, summarized. So, we start with the granulate, a polymer that is actually extruded to fibers, and those fibers are brought together, and you get actually a very open, structured carpet.
Exactly.
As you said, there's nothing on there, so we need to put on the resin and the grain in order to give it some proper use, that it can be used for something, but it will stay open structured. Why is that important, that open structure?
So this open structure is important for our non-clogging ability. Yeah. So this product doesn't clog when we use it on different materials. Okay. And that's the main.
So actually what you're saying is it doesn't load up. You don't get any, like if you would use it on paint. Paint, if you use a fiber disc or a flop disc, it will get stuck on that. It will load it up and you can't work with it anymore. So in this case, it's going to stay open. It will continue working. So that's the benefit of that. There's also something else to that, is you can take off a layer, but it's not going to remove...
It's not going to remove the geometry of the product. So we only are able to remove something from the surface.
It's basically just a cleaning up operation.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Very good. So, as you mentioned, we have two different grains. We have the silicon carbide, which is used on two different products, the black one and the soft version. And we have the more aggressive ceramic aluminum oxide, the sintered aluminum oxide, which is used for the extra rough one, the extra coarse one, the red version that we have in the strip-it material. So they have different applications, they're different qualities, with each of one having a benefit for the work that you're doing with them. So I think that's covering more or less everything we have to say on
the
how they're
material
made.
Side, yeah.
End product is that a roll? Is that a sheet? Is that?
It's mainly discs. So we get this carpet, and then we punch out the sizes that we want to get and make a product of it.
All right, brilliant, excellent, very good. So the three different qualities. Now, what can you do with it? Where are they most of the times used? So the black one is most of the time used to remove paint. rust. That can also be, for instance, can also be glue. I remember during COVID, I wasn't able to travel, which is, unfortunate for me. So, but it means that I had a lot of time to work at home. And one of the things that I renovated our staircase, which is a wooden stair, carpet glued on that. So you remove the carpet, you have a lot of residue, the glue that sticks on that, even a little bit of the backing of the carpet itself. To remove that, you need open structure, right? Exactly. So with that, with the black one, for the angle grinder, absolutely worked as a dream. It removed the glue, that residue on there, without damaging the wood too much. So after that, you go over that with an orbital sander, absolutely perfect. So this is a product that can do stuff like that. Coatings, it takes it off. Remember I told you about the one example, a company that is actually looking to remove a kind of a polymer coating, and they're doing trials now with this disc made for a robot application. So they're gonna put several discs together so you get a wider brush in order to have a longevity, longer lifetime, and a wider area to work with, which is gonna be used on the robot for removing of a polymer coating. So these are things that are possible with this kind of product. The red one is the more aggressive one.
Exactly. We have a different type of resin, we have a different type of grain, and therefore it's just more aggressive.
So application-wise, I can do similar stuff as
Similar stuff, exactly.
but there are things I can do better, like for instance the scale removal on certain materials. Like if you have a thin scale layer on steel, hot rolled steel, then you can use this on an angle grinder or a straight grinder to remove that thin scale layer. If it's a thick layer, that's not going to be possible. But a thin layer, it will remove, absolutely. So also the coloring after welding on stainless steel.
Yeah, the annealing colors,
Exactly. So also that is something where the disc will be helpful to remove that. If you have a thicker welding seam with a coating on there, you see that black layer that's on there, that's pretty hard. This is a product that actually can remove that without changing the welding seam. And then we have the last one.
The Strip-It Soft,
The Strip-It Soft, the softer version, more flexible. More flexible, more adaptable, more conformable to certain applications, especially on a straight grinder or on the angle grinder. But that will show you later on.
Yeah, also low vibrations.
Yes, thank you. One of the things that are important when using that kind of stuff.
So you have to keep in mind these are polymer products. So they have a lower melting point. So we want to have the lowest heat possible. So we want to reduce the speed of the machines to maybe 5,000 rounds per minute, so that the material of the Strip-It itself doesn't heat up and doesn't melt down.
That is, why would that be a disadvantage? If it melts, well, you're getting rid of material. It breaks down too fast. You will have smearing on your workpiece, like for instance, stainless steel. It gets black, which is not great. The lifetime goes back. It's not more efficient. So drop that speed on an angle grinder, drop it to 4,000-5,000 RPM on the angle grinder. You're absolutely fine. It will work. Like, remember what I said about the wood? I went down to 2,000 RPM. I took a machine for stainless steel, variable speed, dropped it down, and actually worked brilliantly. So speed has an immediate influence. And yeah, I think that's basically what we wanted to say on that one. I think we've been talking quite a bit now. I think it's time to show some work, to do some work. There we go. So for the first one, I'm going to try or work with the angle grinder and remove some rust. So I've taken apart where there is quite a bit of rust on there. So I'm going to start with my black one, the silicon carbide one. at reduced speed, dropped it to about 4,000 or 5,000. That's absolutely fine. And then we're going to try to remove the rust on there.
Looks good.
Very easy, very, very quick. You see that it doesn't take off anything below that layer of rust. Doesn't attack the workpiece itself. It just removes the rust layer that is on top of that. You also, I don't know if you noticed, but I tried to work like that, not touching the edges of the workpiece. The reason why is the disc turns in that direction. So if I start working on that edge, I'm going to use, or the disc is going to be a little bit abused, it's going to wear down faster. The other way around, like that, exactly the same thing. So try to avoid working against an edge with products like that. The reason why is because it will damage your disc, it will wear it down quicker, without any reason. It's not going to bring anything. So pay attention to that, really. It gives you a longer lifetime on the disc. Right? Good.
Exactly.
What else did we want to show?
On the angle grinder are different versions. So do you want to go ahead with the rough version?
The rough version, and we're going to remove the scale layer.
Exactly.
This is the Thunder, the scale layer that we're going to remove on that. So we have a thin layer on there where normally if you want to remove scale, a lot of people will start to go to a grinding disc. A rondeller is ideal for that. In this case, we want to use the Strip-It material to remove that without damaging anything. So for that, we take the red one, again on a reduced speed.
Yeah.
Now, Marla, if I'm not mistaken, there are certain types of discs on the market that have
exactly
a higher maximum speed.
That's right. So our products are mainly stiffer and harder materials. So the harder the material, you should reduce the rounds per minute more and more. And with the soft version, we can go a bit quicker. But on the market, we have a lot of competitor products that are just a little bit softer than our product, and therefore they have higher rounds per minute.
The reason why I'm pointing this out is because we got a question like that, is this one runs at 9,800 RPM. Why? It's harder, it's heavier, there's more resin on it, there's more grain on it to make it more aggressive. So that means that the maximum RPM is 9,800. But even now, don't do it. Don't go at 9,800. Drop it to 4,500, 5,000. You're absolutely going to be fine. So the max RPM on this you need anyway. You need a variable speed angle grinder to work properly with it. Yep. So drop it further down to 4,500, 5,000. You're absolutely fine on that. It works. So that's the reason, the difference between maximum RPM between our disc on this specific disc, the red one, and other brands on the market. All right, let's show you what it can do. As you can see, that goes fairly quick, fairly smooth, not too much pressure. It's all pretty shiny, which is fine because it's not black shiny. Black shiny would mean that you still have scale material left on there, and that is not the case. Like in this case, you can see it there, the black part that is actually starting to be shiny, but that's going to be removed after that. Also, when we look at the disc, and I didn't start with a new disc, it's a disc that I used before. I can keep on working with that. It absolutely works. It absolutely does do that. So anything between coloring, after welding, where you need to remove quite a bit of material, heavy welding seams on steel, that you need to remove that coating, that black layer that still is on there, that's the disc that actually will do that. So the last one that we have is a soft one.
Exactly.
What are we going to do with the soft one?
So with the soft one, I think we're going to remove some paint.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm going to remove some paint on a panel from a car. We just found a car outside, took a panel of that. For that we have cutting disc. So just hope it's not your car.
No.
I know you came by train, that's correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
So not my car.
So, there we go. I'm gonna try to work on, let's do it, make it a bit easier for the camera. There we go. I'm gonna try to work on this area. Why is it's nice and flat? The reason why I want to do that because this area is all dented and not very difficult shape. I'm going to use something else on that. But first on this one, pretty flat, works well. Lower speed, low pressure. As you can see, that goes quick. Again, the disc is not new. There's no wear on the disc or nothing. Just you see the color sticking on there. That's about it. Nothing else. Still open structure there. It works. Takes it off. Feels smooth. No overheating. It gets through the primer. Everything is gone without damaging that panel.
So this was pretty quick, Johan. And
yes.
You also do not need a lot of force, right?
No. It is really, it's one of those things, like on a grinding disc, yeah, I understand. But in this, you don't need pressure. The weight of the machine, more than enough, works. It does what it needs to be doing. It removes the coating without damaging anything underneath there. So from that perspective, absolutely fine, absolutely good. So that's what it needs to be doing. Now in this case, it's easy. It's pretty flat, pretty nice to work with. The soft version adapts nicely to that radius there. Now I have that over here on the other side where you will see that it's all dented, damaged, difficult shape, valleys, dales there. We need to get through that. So in order to do that, I'm going to try to work with a smaller disc.
Also from our soft version.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Why the soft version? Because of the shape.
Exactly.
Very good. So again, speed, drop it, really. If you work with a 75 or a 76 millimeter disc or a 3-inch disc, you need to drop that speed. Don't work at 20,000 RPM because that is not going to work. I can assure you that. So drop it down, absolutely, 9,000 RPM, we're absolutely fine. And then it will work like a treat.
Looks good.
You can see this is a difficult shape, all dented, all bended. You don't get in there. So I need to a little bit force the disc, which you can see on the wear, but it takes everything off there without damaging it, without breaking anything sharp. It doesn't do that. It just cleans off the paint, the layers of paint on there. Not a problem whatsoever. Not a problem whatsoever. So this is something, a quality that is used on that. Now, when we talk about cars, you might have rusty cars. There's people that have rusty cars. Yes, that does happen.
Exactly, yeah.
So, on rusty cars, you can use actually not the soft one, but
the coarse one.
The coarse one, the black one, which we're gonna do. So that can be for a rusty car, where you need to remove the rust. That can also be, for instance, like the protective coating underneath the car that you need to remove. That's going to be material that's going to load up, that's going to clog. So therefore, the black one, open version, aggressive, works well, rigid, stiff enough. You will take that off without loading up and removing that protective layer, that protective coating. Also, to remove the rust, absolutely not a problem. I don't have a panel like that with me, but I've got something else. This is a brake. This brake, you can see, pretty rusty. I'm going to try to remove a little bit of rust without damaging anything. Absolutely. The black one. Look at that. Cleaning that up. A piece of cake.
So that was pretty quick.
Wear on the disc, 0. Again, I've used this disc before for the previous episode on German. Disc works absolutely well. Why? No pressure, no edges, and low speed. So these are all applications that work pretty good.
Also nice for like the parts where you need to have the geometry.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't change it.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't attack it. It's not like a normal bonded abrasive or a coated abrasive like a fiber disc or a flap disc. They're going to be attacking that. They will change the form, the geometry, as you say so nicely, on that workpiece. So another thing we have is the straight grinder. Straight grinder has been designed for one of the qualities we have is specifically designed for cleaning up something. And that is the...
Here we have a weld.
The weld, well, it's not a... Well, has been used a couple of times now, so I need to get it re-welded so it's colored again.
It's already a bit clean.
Yeah, I know. So what I want to show you is actually the soft one, the soft version on this. But the reason why is because this quality has been designed to do that. The reason why is because this is softer, adapts very nicely. Anything concerning stainless steel piping, stainless steel tubes, they need to be cleaned up. Or pharmaceutical industry, chemical industry, oil industry, all that, they need to be cleaned up. Welded, the welds need to be cleaned up. So if I would try the black one, which I can use for other things, for cleaning up rust and all that, absolutely fine. But if I'm going to work on something like that, you will see what happens.
That's a lot of vibrations.
So don't exaggerate. There's a bit of vibration there. Yes, that is correct. The reason why is because it is a bit harder. It's a bit stiffer, more rigid. So it will have a bouncing effect on that one. So that's the reason why we designed the soft one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The soft one in order to work on that. There we go. You will hear and see the difference quite easily. Almost no vibration, goes smoothly over that. So this absolutely works pretty good, pretty well. So that's the reason why we have the soft one specifically designed for operations like the black one. Can be used on other stuff, can be used on smaller parts where the diameter is not going to be that much of a problem. Like on this tube, I can use the black one, not a problem. If I use that on the, show it again, there we go. If I use the part with the rust on it, absolutely will work, so that's not a problem there. But on a tube like that, the softer version will give you a better result. So the last thing that we want to show is basically the polishing machine, the PTX machine. Burnishing machine, PTX machine is basically this. The reason why is, imagine you have a large surface that you need to do. A plate with, or steel plates that are stored outside of a shop, and there's a lot of rust on there. Careful, that is heavy. Yeah, look at that. Brilliant, thank you, Marla.
You're welcome.
So, to remove the rust on larger areas, you can use actually a PTX machine. PTX machine, you have a brush on there. This is black material, Strip-It material. We can also go for the softer one. That will work as well. So I'm just going to quickly show you that, how we can take care of rust on a plate like this. low pressure. There you go. Takes it off. Doesn't take anything more off. It doesn't take off the scale. It doesn't take off any pits or anything. Doesn't do that. Just cleaning off that layer of rust that is on that plate. So these are the products that we have, the qualities that we have in our rough cleaning material, in our Strip-It material.
Exactly.
The applications that you have, the different tools that are available for such kind of products, and what you can do with them. Also, PTX burnishing machine, as just was shown over there. So this is basically it. What we wanted to show you today on our TYROLIT Tool School. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marla, for joining me. It was absolutely great. And we're looking forward to seeing you next time. Thanks and take care. Bye-bye.
See you.